Remember last year's amazing trip? That cute first birthday party? All those photos, all those memories can be freed from your phone with a Shutterfly photo book. Rediscover and share your favorite moments with those you love. You'll be amazed how easy it is to make a photo book with Shutterfly and enjoy it for years to come. Get 40% off orders over $29 with code POD40 at Shutterfly.com and make something that means something.
Your neighborhood just got cooler with Kroger Delivery's refrigerated trucks. Simply order groceries at the same great prices online as in-store, and we'll bring them to you fresh every time. And if that wasn't cool enough, you can now earn 4 times the fuel points after 4 with your digital coupon. Choose a next-day Kroger delivery time slot for 4 p.m. or later on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Must deliver by February 4th. Restrictions apply. See Kroger.com for details.
The following is a presentation of News Radio KMAN, your home for high school sports. This is Scoreboard Saturday on News Radio KMAN.
Welcome to another edition of Scoreboard Saturday on News Radio KMAN. What's going on? I am Mitch Fortner, and for the next hour, we're going to hear from coaches, we're going to get game breakdowns, and we're going to go over scores from the Centennial League. NCKL Big East League and the Twin Valley League leading up to 9 o'clock. Hey guys, don't forget, coming up today is K-State men's basketball. They take on the Iowa State Cyclones in Ames, Iowa. Pre-game coverage will be at noon. We'll have tip-off at 1 o'clock here on News Radio KMAN. Scoreboard Saturday is brought to you by WTC Communications. WTC, keeping you connected with the fastest fiber network internet speeds. Get your home or business in the game with WTC, online at WTCKS.com. Going to hear from a whole bunch of coaches in the next hour, including Manhattan Boys head coach Benji George in just a few moments. Yesterday, with the Manhattan Boys not playing yesterday, Cole Dutchendorf calling the Manhattan girls game in McPherson, I had a rare Friday night to go catch some other high school action. So last night, it was perfect timing. I was able to go to Rock Creek and watch Wamego Rock Creek. That rivalry means a lot more now because they're now league foes in the NCKL. Rock Creek joining the NCKL this year. So we're going to hear from all 4 head coaches. Rock Creek girls coach Trevor Keller, Rock Creek boys coach Justin Smith, Wamego girls coach Brian McIntosh, and Wamego boys coach Steve Fritz, all coming up in this hour. We are going to lead off with the Centennial League, and history was made last night. Manhattan girls semifinal action from the 30th annual Mid-America Classic in McPherson. The Roundhouse taking on the Bullpups, the host team, McPherson. Before I tell you about the history, I'm going to go and let Cole Dutchendorf take over. He'll give you a recap of last night's game.
Last night, the Manhattan Lady Indians attempted to accomplish something that they hadn't done since 2018, reach the championship round of the Mid-America Classic. They already stopped one losing streak by winning in the first round on Thursday, snapping a 5-game losing streak by beating Wichita Southeast. Standing in Manhattan's way in the semifinal round, McPherson, the host team with an absurd 71-17 record in the tournament all time. McPherson has reached the semifinals in 29 of the 30 years that they have hosted the tournament, as well as 22 finals appearances. But the Indians would prevent that number from reaching 23 as they outscored the Bullpups 28-20 in the second half and took home a 48-38 win. Delaney Larson led the way for Manhattan with 12 points, adding 5 steals and 3 rebounds, as well as an assist. Bailey Bush also had a good night for the Indians with 11 points and 6 rebounds. It was Kat Ball doing the dirty work for the Indians defensively with 7 steals, alongside 8 points, 3 assists, and 4 rebounds. Yelena Debuswa added 5 points, and Isabel Peabody rounded out the starting 5 with 4 points of her own. Jorah Purcell became the second Lady Indian to record a career high in points in the 30th annual Mid-America Classic, as she scored 8 points, 6 of which came in the first half. Jordan Hall set her career high against Wichita Southeast in the first round of the tournament, also scoring 8 points. It was the defense that got the job done for Manhattan throughout the contest as they forced 26 McPherson turnovers. The Lady Indians took care of the ball on the offensive side, bringing their turnover number down to 12 after 26 in the first round. McPherson was led in scoring and rebounding by Brooke Doyle, who followed up her 19-point, 12-rebound performance against Andover Central in the first round with 13 points and 9 rebounds against Manhattan. Riley Whitfield had 9 points and Piper Alvord added 7. Manhattan shot just 35% from the field and were 0 of 8 from beyond the arc, but had 13 more shot attempts than McPherson due to both causing turnovers and dominating the offensive boards, as they had 8 more offensive rebounds than the Bullpups. The Indians will meet Olathe South in the championship game, a team that has gotten the better of Manhattan over the last several matchups in this very tournament. Olathe South won games over Manhattan in 2019, 2020, and 2022, keeping the Indians from the championship game in 2019 and sending them to the backside of the bracket in both 2020 and 2022. Olathe South dominated the 1-seed Hutchinson in the other semifinal game, holding the Salthawks to single digits in the first half and winning 49 of 19, led by 23 points, 14 rebounds, and 7 blocks from 4-star recruit Eve Long. Manhattan will have their hands full with her in the post. They have cruised through 2 games in the tournament, winning by 21 in their first game against Shawnee Mission East and then 30 against Hutchinson. Elsewhere in the bracket on Friday, Shawnee Mission East took down Dodge City on the backside semifinals, winning 49-30 and advancing to the 5th place game. Wichita Southeast controlled the second half against Andover Central as the Golden Buffaloes took them down 57-49, sending the 2-seeded Jaguars to the 7th place game. Manhattan will tip off at approximately 4:45 tonight with pregame at around 4:30 on News Radio KMAN. For Scoreboard Saturday, I'm Cole Dutchendorf.
All right, thank you very much, Cole, with that breakdown of that Manhattan win by 10. A huge win over the Bullpups of McPherson. So, again, Manhattan will be playing in the championship game against Olathe South later on today. Now, that game is a historic win because for head coach Scott Mall, it is his 500th career victory. For those that don't know, Scott Mall, before he started at Manhattan High School coaching, which he is now in his 32nd season with the Manhattan Girls, he spent 6 seasons coaching the Girard Boys, and there he picked up 61 wins. Coach Mall now with 439 victories at Manhattan, but add it all up, and 38 years as a head coach, Scott Mall has now 500 career victories. And I've been told Manhattan High, when the team gets back home, they play their potentially their next home game, which would be Wednesday against Topeka High. They plan to honor Coach Mall for achieving that terrific milestone. So once again, I've known Scott Mall for nearly a decade now. Congratulations to Coach Mall on this tremendous achievement. And his girls are playing for a MAC championship later on today against Olathe South. And once again, pregame coverage is at 4:30, tip-off at 4:45. All right, over to the Manhattan boys. Like I'd mentioned earlier, did not play today, but they did play last night. The Indians are now 4-8 after a really tough loss at home to Blue Valley Stillwell, a really good team, also at a 6A, representing the East Side in this matchup. The final score is 64-50. Boy, and I called the game. The Tigers in that matchup just could not miss from 3. They hit 11 in the game. Manhattan led by a career high 21 points from junior Noah McFadden. After the contest, Toby Hamas from the Manhattan Mercury and myself had a chance to catch up with Manhattan head coach Benji George.
When a team comes out like that and makes as many three-pointers as they did tonight, how hard is that to keep your guys focused and just keep battling back like they did?
Man, we tried to identify, guys you could close out to or needed to close out to and guys that we could maybe lay off a little to help. Because, the other part of that is they have a 6'9" guy. So you have to give something up. And, it was just one of those nights where everybody for them was just feeling it. We pegged 15 and 23 as guys that we really were okay leaving open, and we were okay, just kind of being around. But if they shot the ball, we were okay with it. And they hit just between the two of them 5 threes. So number 3 is so good. Gosh darn, he's good. And, he was feeling it. And it snowballed from there. They're just so hard to guard, just with the size and that kind of guard play.
Looking at Noah McFadden's performance tonight, a career high 21 points, just how impressive was he in your eyes?
Well, the biggest key for Noah is just, playing hard on the defensive end of the floor. The first couple defensive possessions, I really didn't like his effort defensively, and I got into him a little bit, and then he started playing harder. And when he plays harder defensively, that's when his offense comes. And I hope he's figuring that out. Really, it's his effort on the defensive end of the floor that brings him some flow offensively. But he had a great night. We needed it. They're late. We were trying to get him touches, but and the biggest thing too was he stayed on the attack. He didn't settle for many threes. He got most of his looks around the rim, which he's much more effective in the paint.
Just what are your thoughts going into more focused on Centennial League play and just where the team's at?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Some nights you just get beat. I mean, we got beat tonight, and we have to just look at Centennial League play now like it's a whole new season. That season starts Wednesday night. We have 8 Centennial League games. We're 1-1 in league. It's been a little crazy that we've only played 2 league games, but I told the guys we're going to keep coaching them hard, and we're going to practice with accountability, and we're going to keep coaching with positivity. And I can't guarantee things will turn around, but I can guarantee they're much more likely to turn around if we just stay the course and keep doing what we're doing with our practice approach. And rather than, if we just play out the string, then nothing will turn around. So, we're going to keep doing that. We're going to keep our nose to the grindstone and be ready for Centennial League play on Wednesday.
Yeah, heading into Centennial League play, what right now is the biggest hill you're trying to climb? Is it trying to erase those turnovers, or what comes to your mind?
Yes, but I think really starting on the defensive end of the floor, just maintaining defensive effort and defensive talk and defensive connectedness. It was there at times tonight. It was not there at all in the beginning of the game. Our transition defense was just horrible, but then it got better. We were able to get stops there in some stretches, but I think just consistency with how we bring a defensive approach and a defensive mindset. And then offensively, I think the biggest thing is just to continue keeping the ball moving. We get stagnant. We especially get stagnant when we get tired. And we saw that, I think, a little bit tonight. Early in the game, I thought we moved it really well, but we get tired, the ball gets stagnant. So I think those are the 2 biggest things. And then, as you said, limiting turnovers.
All right, Coach, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Once again, the Manhattan boys are now 4-8 on the year, and we'll have to wait until Wednesday night for their next girls-boys doubleheader, which will be at home. It's a makeup game between the Manhattan girls and boys. They're going to be hosting Topeka High as they get back to Centennial League play. As a matter of fact, the rest of the regular season after today for the Manhattan girls and also the rest of the way for the boys is all Centennial League matchups. Speaking of the Centennial League, let's look around the Centennial League of what took place over the week, as not everybody played today. Some teams are still playing in tournaments. Let's first go to Junction City. The Junction City girls playing on Tuesday. They did not play the rest of the week, and they would fall to Olathe East. That final score, 52-19. That drops the Junction City girls record to 1-10 overall. They played just 2 league games. They are 0-2 in league play. The Junction City boys played Thursday night. It was a league matchup against the Washburn Rural Junior Blues, and Junction City on a bit of a rough patch recently. They've lost now 2 of their last 3. Washburn Rural with the 3-point victory, 59-56 on Thursday in Topeka. So Junction City now drops to 9-3, and that's their first loss in Centennial League play. They're now 2-1, and Washburn Rural, perfect in league play at a record of 3-0. They have the same overall record as the Blue Jays at 9-3. The Washburn Rural girls, they're currently in tournament play that is hosted by Topeka West, so a super short road trip for Washburn Rural. For those who don't know, Washburn Rural is in the southwest corner of Topeka, and they took on the Lawrence Lions, and it's a win for Washburn Rural in the semifinals yesterday, 75-48. The Junior Blues on the girls' side, 7-3 overall. They're going to be playing for a championship against Shawnee Heights later today. There's only one undefeated team out of all teams, girls or boys, in the Centennial League. And that would happen to be the Hayden Wildcats at a record of now 12-0. They're also in a tournament right now in El Dorado. Semifinals, they knock off Gardner Edgerton 57-49 to remain perfect, and that perfect record is at 12-0. They will be playing for a championship. I don't have their opponent, but they will be playing for a championship later on today. The Hayden boys played on Wednesday night. They would go on to lose at Emporia. The final score, 61-56. Now, the Emporia boys did play again this week. They played last night. They knock off Wichita Independent. No problem there on the road for the Spartans. 79-15, a thumping by the Spartans to get their 8th win of the year. They're now 8-4, 1-1 record, Centennial League play. For the Emporia girls, they are hosting the Glacier's Edge tournament and playing in the semifinals, the consolation semifinals yesterday, losing to Wichita South 47-28. Still a really rough start for Emporia, going through the coaching change, a very dramatic transition that was. The Lady Spartans are now 1-10 overall, and they're going to be playing for 7th place later on today. And then to round out the Centennial League, we check out what Topeka High is up to for the girls. They're also playing at the Glacier's Edge. They're going to play in a consolation semifinal matchup. They would beat Wichita Northeast, but I do not have a final score on that. So they're going to be playing for 5th place later on today, and Topeka High picks up their 7th win of the year. Now, the Topeka High boys, winless on the year, played Wednesday night. A competitive matchup, but they fall short against Topeka Seaman, 73-64. The Topeka High boys now 0-11 on the year. Again, that's who Manhattan will host next. Wednesday at the MHS Gym, Manhattan girls and boys will be hosting Topeka High. Let's take our first time out on Scoreboard Saturday, and when we come back, we're going to jump to the Big East League. Riley County looking for a big home sweep over Royal Valley. St. Mary's girls in tournament play. And can Nemaha Central boys remain perfect on the road at Rossville? Those scores from the Big East League coming up next on Scoreboard Saturday, brought to you by WTC Communications. We are back on Scoreboard Saturday, News Radio KMAN. Mitch Fortner with you until 9 o'clock. AJ Shaw had his last show this past Saturday. He is on his way back to Chicago, and I want to thank AJ for his phenomenal work the last couple of years on Scoreboard Saturday, doing play-by-play for us, being on my show, The Game, Monday through Friday from 4 to 6 every day, talking K-State sports. The guy did a wonderful job, but he's on to the next level. He's on to his next job, and I want to wish him nothing but the best, as I hope I do half as good as he did, because he did a really good job with this show. But we continue on with Scoreboard Saturday. A reminder about later on today, and that is K-State men's basketball. We'll have them on air as they'll start pregame coverage at noon with Wyatt Thompson and Stan Weber on the call. Taking on number 3 Iowa State on the road in Ames, Iowa. They'll tip off at 1 o'clock. The game is also televised on ESPN2. And also a reminder about K-State women's basketball. Looking to win round 1 of the Sunflower Showdown Sunday, tipping at 2 p.m. against the Kansas Jayhawks in Allen Fieldhouse in Lawrence. Pre-game coverage, 1:30 here on News Radio KMAN. Scoreboard Saturday brought to you by WTC Communications. WTC, keeping you connected with the fastest fiber network internet speeds. Get your home or business in the game with WTC online at WTCKS.com. Let's go get over to the Big East League, because Riley County at home looking for some pretty big wins. Girls looking to continue on in their winning ways and stay undefeated in Big East League play. And the Riley County boys trying to get back on track with a winnable game, and that's exactly what was done. Kelsey Nelson's squad, the Riley County girls, get win number 10 on the year, and they are now a perfect 7-0 in Big East League play. They are on their way potentially to a league championship. We'll see how it goes down the road. Silver Lake is going to be a tough task. It feels like it's going to be between those two, but Riley County defeats Royal Valley last night at Riley County, 51-33. For the Royal Valley Panthers, now 6-5 on the year. They're 1-4 in league play. Riley County boys, they complete the sweep last night for the home matchups for Riley County as they beat the Panthers 61-56. And for Riley County under Coach Claycomb, they are now 5-8 on the year. They jumped to 2-5 in Big East League play. Royal Valley struggling on the boys' end. They still do not have a win in league play. They are 3-8 overall. All right, let's take a look at other scores around the Big East League last night. Still more teams playing in their tournaments. St. Mary's girls, They are now 7-3, taking on Lafayette. Unfortunately, we are unable to get a final score. That was at the Hiawatha semifinal. I was told they won, which would mean they are going to play for a championship later on today, but unfortunately, I do not have a final score for that game as of yet. I can tell you the St. Mary's boys had a home game last night in league play against Jeff West, and the St. Mary's boys, a very good team, very entertaining. They have a very good opportunity at winning the Big East League this year. They're still undefeated, 5-0 in league play. They beat Jeff West 62-33, and that moves the Bears' record to 11-1 on the year. All right, the Rossville girls playing in the Jefferson County North tournament this weekend, and they were in the semifinals yesterday, and they get the victory over the host team, Jefferson County North. Final score 43-32, so they'll move on to the championship game. Rossville boys were at home in a true league matchup against one of the dreaded teams on the boys' side, the only other team that's still undefeated in league play, and that is Nemaha Central. Rossville made it close, and man, it wasn't a nail-biter. It came down to the final possession. Rossville, however, falls just 1 point shy of a major upset. The Bulldogs fall. Final score 52-51. Nemaha Central still undefeated at 13-0, 7-0 in league play. Rossville, just their fourth loss of the year. They're 8-4 and 500 in league play at 3-3. Now, the Nemaha Central girls, they're 8-4 on the year, and they're at the Wellsville tournament. They're going to be playing in the fifth place game later on today as they will face Jeff West. All right, a few more scores out of the Big East League yesterday, as there was a couple of scores. Again, we weren't able to get. Holton did not play yesterday. Both teams were off most of this week. So two more scores to announce out of the Big East League, and we go to Silver Lake. As I mentioned earlier, the girls are very good. They upset and beat Rock Creek earlier this week on a buzzer beater, and they remain undefeated. No issue with Sabetha at home as the girls Eagles team wins 76-30, moving the record to 10-1 overall and a perfect 6-0 in Big East League play. Sabetha drops to 2-11 overall, winless in league play. The Silver Lake boys make it a sweep. It was our only overtime game of our local leagues last night. Silver Lake hangs on in overtime to win 60-58 on the boys' side, knocking Sabetha down to 8-6 overall. Silver Lake boys are now 8-3, just the one blemish in league play. They are now 5-1. All right, let's go ahead and take our next break on Scoreboard Saturday, brought to you by WTC Communications, keeping you connected with the fastest fiber network internet speeds. Get your home or business in the game with WTC online at WTCKS.com. Still to come later on in the show, we're going to look at the Twin Valley League plus all the standings, the rankings on both the girls and boys sides for all classes of our teams in our local leagues who are all ranked. That'll be coming on later in the show with the Twin Valley scores. But when we come back, we go to the NCKL, a rivalry taking place last night. Actually, multiple rivalries took place, but I was on hand for one of them. Rock Creek, Wamego, meeting up in Flush. It's the first of two meetings for the teams, and it means more now because they are now NCKL foes. And you're going to hear from all four head coaches, win or lose, about last night's results as we go to the NCKL next on Scoreboard Saturday. Brought to you by WTC Communications. Scoreboard Saturday continues on News Radio KMAN. Mitch Fortner with you as we're about to take a look at the NCKL. But Scoreboard Saturday brought to you by WTC Communications. WTC, keeping you connected with the fastest fiber network internet speeds. Get your home or business in the game with WTC online at WTCKS.com. All right, now into the NCKL. I was in attendance last night for Wamego Rock Creek, both girls and boys games. Great atmosphere, especially for the girls' game. Rock Creek, Wamego, both teams really good on the girls' side. Wamego was able to lead for most of the way. Rock Creek was down double digits in the second half. They were able to tie it up, but it was Wamego that pulls away for the final score of 54-46. The Rock Creek girls fall to 8-4 overall. They've now lost 2 straight, and their record is now 3-2. And after the game, I caught up with Rock Creek girls head coach Trevor Keller.
Well, Coach, tough loss tonight against Wamego, but you guys had a real gritty comeback there in the second half where you're down double digits. You guys come back and tie it up. What did your team do right in that segment of the game to make that comeback and put some pressure on Wamego?
Yeah, we executed. I didn't feel like in the first half we executed very well, both defensively and offensively. You know, we turned it over quite a bit in the first half, and at halftime we just told them that, you know, hey, we got to calm down, execute offensively, and get stops defensively. We're not going to get it all back in one possession, so got to get a stop, go get a score, and then get another stop. And I thought that's what allowed us to make that run in the third quarter to tie it up.
32, her last name is Zeller. Is that how you pronounce it? I don't know, Zoller. Okay. Zeller's having a really good season for you guys. She was a K-Man student athlete of the week not too long ago. Did Wamego try to take her away, at least not let her have an easy night downstairs and get clean looks at the rim? Yeah, they did a good job of limiting her looks, you know. She's been dealing with some illness and things like that, but she's battling through. So, but give credit to them. They limited and took some things away that we wanted to do, and so the credit goes to them. May have just played your toughest stretch of the season. And going back to the Silver Lake game, just that buzzer beater, you almost had them, and just that one thing goes wrong, and then this game on top of it. Was this a pretty emotional week for your team? Yeah, but I thought that, you know, we bounced back in practice on Wednesday really well. You know, we just continue to talk about wanting to get 1% better each day, you know, and that it's Rock Creek versus Rock Creek, and that if we can get better and clean up some possessions and just compete on every possession and be consistent with that, then the results are going to take care of themselves. And so that's really what we got to do. Is we just got to lock in on each possession, whether that's defense or offense, and the results are going to take care of itself. What do you think about this rivalry? I mean, just being here in this gym, that was a fun environment. Yeah, so first time, obviously being part of this, you know, you hear about it, but that was a lot of fun. I'm really proud of the way that we played in the second half to be able to respond, being down double digits. Proud of our group for responding in an atmosphere like that. All right, Coach, appreciate your time. Thank you. Appreciate it.
That's Rock Creek girls head coach Trevor Keller. Wamego girls win it 54-46. After I spoke with Coach Keller, I was able to catch up with Wamego girls head coach Brian McIntosh. His team is now 8-5 and 5-1 in NCKL play.
Well, Coach, congratulations on the victory. You know, you had a double-digit lead there in the second half. Rock Creek makes a comeback. Once they tie it up, what did your team do well to once again build a lead and put them away?
Well, we talked about, you know, going into the game that they're going to make their runs, we'll make our runs, and we just got to stay poised because, you know, I mean, they're a good team, and so you know that they're going to do some things to get back in the game. And we just remained calm, and, you know, I think we came out and Lexi hit a big shot for us. Kendall hit a big shot down there. And then we stretched the lead, and you know, then it's you got to take care of the basketball and make free throws.
And did I have this right? Were you missing a player or two today?
Yes. Soraya Pittenger-Reed, which is a sister of Shaney, number 25. She's been sick all week, probably that influenza that's going around. And so she just got back with us today and missed 3 or 4 practices. And so it was fun to see her sister take, you know, the same spot as her and come in and do what she did. So
yeah, you're really fired up tonight. I haven't watched you coach too many times, but was it just the emotions of the game? There's a lot of foul calls, rivalry game. It's a tense environment.
Yeah. Well, actually, that was probably calm for me. I'm pretty intense over there. You know, I'm passionate at what I do, and you know, whether it's trying to help them through a possession or whether it's cheering them on or whether it's getting on to them, I kind of have one tone, which is just, you know, and it's just the way I coach. But you know, it's obviously a rival game, but you know, you just want to put the kids in the best position to succeed.
But it seems like your players, just by watching them, they listen, they respond in a pretty positive way. Like they learn from mistakes really quickly. But that was your first time playing since the tournament in Salina. The last 2 games didn't go your way. What did you like out of the response just at practice out of those last 2 losses?
Well, we've played before the Salina tournament, or right after the Salina tournament, I guess we played 6 games in 12 days. And so we didn't have a whole lot of time in practice to correct some things. And so that was an issue. And our schedule has been really, really hard. We did it on purpose, but it's been a tough schedule. So to go back and then be able to practice this week was huge for us. Being able to get back in and practice on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and just focus in on rebounding, taking care of the ball. That was terrific how the girls responded, and that's how we practiced all week. And so I was thinking that we would come out and play like that, but you never know as a coach.
I don't have the final numbers, like the final scoring numbers, but, Zeller for them, really good player. She's having a great season. Yep. She was one of our student athletes of the week not too long ago. How well do you feel like your team did on her to try to limit her clear looks at the rim?
Sure. I mean, she's a load down there. I mean, she uses her body well. She posts hard. And so, at some point you kind of just got to say, hey, we'll give this person these points and try to take away some of the others. And I thought we did a really good job. She had to work hard to get a position. She had to work hard for all the points that she got. And so, that's all you can ask your players to do. They've got some shooters, and so you really can't just leave them out there. And so you kind of got to play in the middle there. And I thought our girls did a good job of knowing when to go double and when to stay.
Is there a message to this team about, obviously the goal is you want to win the NCKL, Rock Creek, you guys, and Clay Center. Yep. I mean, you guys are right now, assuming Clay Center wins tonight, yep, you guys are going to be at top of the NCKL standings together. Right. You feel like this is going to be a pretty tough race to try to win it this year? Yeah, absolutely. And obviously those two are really good teams, but, we've got a lot of other teams that are dangerous too in our league, and so you can't just take a game for granted, and you got to do it. I know it's a coaching stuff, but you got to play one game at a time. And if you look too far down the road, you're gonna get beat. And so I think our girls know that. We never look into the future very much. We're always focused on our next game and our next practice. They're really good teams. I guess the bright spot for us is when we play them at home. We play Rock Creek at home and Clay Center at home to finish. And so that's good for us. Coach, congratulations on the win. That's a big win tonight. Good job tonight.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Mitch.
A big thank you to Coach McIntosh for his time on Scoreboard Saturday. Once again, the Wamego girls get their 8th win of the year as they beat Rock Creek 54-46. Wamego right there in the hunt for the NCKL championship, along with Rock Creek, just one loss apiece. There's another team on the girls' side with just one loss in the hunt as well. All right, now let's go to the boys' game. Wamego competitive, but Rock Creek was just too much in the second half as Gavin Rosa hit 3 threes in the third quarter to help Rock Creek pull away for the 20-point victory, 57-37. For that loss for Wamego, they now dropped to 3-10 overall. They are 2-4 in NCKL play. And after the game, I was able to catch up with Wamego boys head coach Steve Fritz. Well, Coach, first of all, appreciate your time. Just want to get your overall thoughts on, competing against a really good Rock Creek team. You guys hang in there for a while. I felt like a lot of the times you guys were getting some good looks. They just weren't consistently falling for you.
Yeah, we struggle a little bit shooting the ball. They do put a lot of pressure on you in terms of how well they can score. I thought the effort overall was pretty good, start to finish, and we made some shots in the first half, especially late. We just didn't make enough shots.
Jackson Toops comes off the bench. I thought he gave you a little bit of a spark. What'd you like about his minutes tonight?
Jackson's a really good athlete, and a lot of times he would usually be in the starting lineup, but he had the flu this week, and so we didn't see him pretty much all week in practice, so we kind of tried to work him in a little bit. I learned a little bit from last week. We had a bunch of flu guys, and they tried to come back right away. It didn't work very well. But he always gives a lot of energy, a little bit of a change-up, being lefty, so he can drive a little harder to that side that people aren't really expecting. But he's a good kid. He works hard. He wants to do well, which is always nice.
You're not the first coach that I've talked to this week that's brought up kids being sick, or sometimes it's kids last week, now it's this week. Are you looking like you're on the tail end of that and maybe kind of working out of that sickness, or is it hard to tell?
We're definitely, at least from the varsity level, we're working our way out of it. We had 4 of our top 8 out last week going into the tournament in Salina. By the end of the weekend, we had most of those back, but at the beginning of this week, we had a couple more go out on the varsity level. So by numbers-wise, we got to be on the tail end of it. But we've had a lot of sickness in the school and across the team, and it is what it is. You can't really do anything about it. The other kids have had an opportunity to step up and play minutes they probably normally wouldn't. And I think they've done a nice job in those situations, and it's a good learning experience for them, a good chance to show what they can do, and we just got to keep plugging forward. I mean, there's still a lot of games left, and with high school basketball, it really doesn't matter once you get to sub-state, records go out the window. And so we're just trying to make progress every day and every week, and I think we took a step forward tonight in multiple areas.
All right, Coach, appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Big thank you to Wamego head coach Steve Fritz for his time. Again, the Wamego boys fall to Rock Creek 57-37 last night. Packed house homecoming at Rock Creek High School. The Rock Creek boys pick up their 10th win of the year. They are undefeated in NCKL play. They are in the hunt for their first ever in their first year of winning the NCKL. They are the only boys team that is undefeated. Again, the Rock Creek boys win by 20, and after the game, I was able to catch up with head coach Justin Smith.
Well, Coach, a 20-point win against a rival, and now it means more because it's a league game. What did you think about your team's performance against Wamego?
Well, I'm not going to lie. I came in at halftime and ripped them pretty good. We were only up 9.5, and I thought it was probably the poorest half we played all year. I thought we were being selfish on some things and lazy, especially offensively. I thought defensively we were pretty locked in the first half. We held them 16, but offensively we were doing some things that were very uncharacteristic, and I'm glad we cleaned it up a little bit in the second half, but for sure wasn't one of our better performances of the year.
Standing out to me was Gavin Rosa because he comes out of that third quarter because Wamego, like you said, they're hanging around and trying to put them away, and he comes in and starts nailing some threes, and he has a really casual-looking shot. He looked very comfortable.
Yeah, he doesn't jump much, but it's, he's shooting probably 35-40% on the year and shot the ball pretty well, and the thing about it is with him is when he gets hot, and so he hit 3 in a row there and kind of separated us a little bit more. But he's capable, and we got other guys capable of that too. It's just a matter he was the one tonight.
If you could take me back to last week, because just one loss on the year and you face a really good St. Mary's team, and then you come right back, get a win. What did you like about your team's response since that loss?
No, it was good, and the thing is, I would like to give St. Mary's one of our better games, and I thought there were some things that we didn't do very well in that game as well. We didn't guard very well, and I wish we would have played better. But and then coming back in the third place game, we were good offensively, but again, struggled defensively and some stuff. So there's just some stuff that we need to clean up because we're going to play some teams coming up that are going to be talented. So we need to make sure that we're continuing to build on that.
I called your state tournament game last year, and Coley Burgess is just a really tough competitor, and he scored a lot of your first points there in that game. But watch him compete once again. What can you tell me about a winter homecoming runner-up that leads your team, and what have you liked about his play so far this year?
Yeah, he's a great kid. He's a 4-year letter winner. He's a 3-year starter. He's been good on that aspect of it. He's coming off an ankle injury. He struggled on he actually missed the third-place game last weekend because he was out, and then he was coming back from it over the last week here. And I know yesterday was pretty sore on him, but he's been a really good leader for us. He didn't shoot the ball particularly well tonight, but I thought he responded well after half on trying to get downhill and getting other people involved. But he's been a good leader in that aspect for sure.
I think you still have a makeup game or two still to come. But with those coming up later on down the road, you got a lot of NCKL left. Yeah. How big is the focus this final stretch of the season?
It's going to be tough. In our last week and the way that we rescheduled the games, I think we go at Wamego, at Clay Center, at Concordia, and at Abilene to finish the year. So it's going to be a tough stretch for us because all those teams are good basketball teams. And but I think if we can lock in, and we got a lot of talented guys, and the thing that's nice about us, we're 10, 11, 12 deep. There's been different guys step up in different games, and it'll be interesting if we can have a game or two that they all contribute, because I think if we can do that, we'll be pretty special going down the stretch here.
All right, Coach, congratulations on the win tonight.
All right, thanks, bud. Appreciate you.
A big thank you to Justin Smith for his time on Scoreboard Saturday. Again, the Wamego girls beat Rock Creek. Final score 54-46. The Rock Creek boys get revenge. Final was 57-37. More rivalry action in the NCKL last night. Oh, Abilene and Chapman, they do not like each other. But Abilene looking for a big sweep. Chapman basketball struggling this year, and that's exactly what happened. Though the girls' game was close, both girls' game entering that game last night, both winless in league play, but it was the Cowgirls with a 3-point victory over Chapman. Final score 40-37. That bumps Abilene's record to 3-9 overall, 1-4 in the NCKL. Chapman still winless. 0-5 in league play. They are 2-10 overall. The Chapman boys are still winless. Abilene thumps the Irish. Final score at Abilene, 79-43. Cowboys bumped their record up to 9-3. And they are 4-1. They as well in the hunt for an NCKL championship. Chapman, they are winless on the year. 0-12 record, 0-5 in NCKL play. All right, the other matchups we had of the NCKL last night, Clay Center hosting Concordia. Now, I'm from Clay Center, and I don't think I've ever seen a score like this. And I have a lot of friends from Concordia. I went to school up in Concordia for college for a couple of years. The Clay Center girls beat Concordia last night 51-5. You rarely see a team held to single digits in high school basketball, especially at that level, and that is what happened. Clay Center girls 10-3 overall. They're 6-1 in league play. They dropped Concordia to 3-9 with the home win from the Tigers' Den, and 1-4 in league play for Concordia. And a tad bit closer, but another blowout. This time the Clay Center boys. They thumped Concordia. Final score 60-23. The Clay Center Tiger boys, just like the girls, are 10-3 overall. They're 5-2 in league play. Concordia boys 7-5. They do have a winning record though in league play at 3-2. Now, the Marysville boys did not play at all this week. They're 5-6 overall, 1-5 in Big 12 play. Marysville girls scheduled to play Jackson Heights yesterday, or rather today. They'll play today against Jackson Heights in a third-place game at the Hiawatha Tournament. So Marysville looking for a third-place finish. They're 4-6. Overall. That's going to wrap it up for the NCKL on Scoreboard Saturday. Our final segment after a timeout, we're going to take a look at scores from the Twin Valley League and take a look at the latest KBCA rankings for the girls and boys for our local teams. We're wrapping up Scoreboard Saturday next, brought to you by WTC Communications. Welcome back to Scoreboard Saturday for the final time on News Radio KMAN for today's show, brought to you by WTC Communications. WTC, keeping you connected with the fastest fiber network internet speeds. Get your home or business in the game with WTC online at WTCKS.com. All right, we only have a couple of minutes left. Let's touch on in Blue Valley and Frankfort out of the Twin Valley League. A very good game for the Blue Valley girls, but they fall just short of a very good Donovan West team on the road. Final score 56-48. A heck of a battle by the Rams, but they're now at 700, 7-7 overall. Donovan West 11-2. For the Blue Valley boys, a great win on the road, 60-50 the final. The Rams get their 7th win of the year. Donovan West 3-11. After the home loss. Well, for the Frankfort girls and boys, they're definitely having different seasons. The Frankfort girls, unfortunately, their losing streak continues now at 8 games as they fall to Washington County. Final score 48-47. The 1-point loss is a heartbreaker, especially on the road. But the Frankfort boys get their revenge as they knock off Washington County by the final score of 31-24. Frankfort boys now 11-4. Washington County drops to 2-11. Clifton Clyde sweeps Onega. And the Valley Heights girls get a win over Republic County. Final score 71-27. Valley Heights girls now 8-6 on the year. All right, as we wrap up, let's take a look at the KBCA girls and boys class ranking. Starting in 6A, our teams that are ranked. Washburn Rural is at number 5 in 6A girls. They're 7-3. Down to 4A girls. Topeka Hayden, number 1 at 12-0. Rock Creek is number 7 at 8-3. And the Clay Center Tigers, number 9. They are 10-3 on the year. 3A girls, just one team ranked. No shocker. It is Silver Lake at 10-1. They're number 3. 1A Division I girls, Centralia number 2. Clifton Clyde is number 4. And number 1, team. In 1A Division II for girls, Hanover, the number 1 team. All right, on the boys' side, nobody ranked in 6A or 5A. So let's take a look at 4A. The 4A boys, number 3, no surprise, Rock Creek at a record of 10-1. They're going to stay up there as well with the big win over Wamego. Topeka Hayden is number 4, actually, with a record of 7-6. Clay Center, number 9 at 10-3. Nemaha Central, undefeated in 3A boys. They are 13-0 and number 4. The St. Mary's boys should be higher, but they're number 9 right now at 11-1. 2A boys, Rossville at number 5. They are 8-4. And in 1A Division II, Axtell number 2 and Hanover is number 5. And that is going to do it for Scoreboard Saturday, brought to you by WTC Communications. A reminder, the Manhattan girls going for a Mid-America Classic Championship in McPherson. They take on Olathe South at 4:45. Pre-game coverage at 4:30 here on K-Man. Noon coverage for the K-State men's basketball team at Iowa State with tip-off at 1 o'clock. I'm Mitch Fortner, and thank you for listening to Scoreboard Saturday.